Hello everybody, this is Stephen Whitfield with Drilling Contractor, and we are here in Houston, Texas, or really just slightly outside of Houston, at the HMH hydroelastomer plant. This is a really cool facility, and we just took a tour of the plant off camera. We'll have some footage of that we'll be showing in and out with this video. And the guy who gave this tour is the guy who's going to be speaking with me about this facility. This is Chad Walker of HMH. He is a resident expert, knows all things elastomers, and maybe we'll condense this all into a few minutes, but he's going to tell us a lot about the history of this place and some of the cool things that they produce here. So, Chad, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. I appreciate you being here.
So let's talk about the history of this place. And you're telling me this place goes back to like the 1950s. How do we get from there to today?
Yeah, so what's interesting is decades ago, this was a school for Humboldt County, and Bayou City Rubber actually purchased it from the county back in, I think it was 1957. So the elastomer business was started back in the 50s here, and Bayou City Rubber actually did work for Hydril. So they were producing different rubber elements for the Hydril company, and in the 60s, Hydril actually purchased Bayou City Rubber, and that's kind of where we take off from where we are today, right? So Hydril comes in the 60s, and through the many different acquisitions, through Tenaris, through GE Oil and Gas, through Baker Hughes, and now HMH, the same team has been here. We have tenured employees that have been here the entire time, from Bayou City Rubber to today. And we've gone leaps and bounds from what we were in the 50s and 60s to where we are today.
So let's talk about some of the things that you guys produce here. Now, obviously, this is an elastomer plant. We saw a lot of the individual components that go into making these different elastomers, these rubbers, all these things. What are you making? What is it used for?
Yep, that's a great question. So our primary crown jewel from this facility is the annular packing element. So behind us we have a BOP, and inside of it, it has a packing element that in the event of a well control issue, well control event, that packing element needs to be able to close on the drill pipe or close on itself from a safety standpoint. So primarily we're making BOP packing elements, variable rams, piston seals, diverter seals. So we'll make anything in the oil and gas drilling space that our company would use. And recently we've actually branched off to where we're making water swell and oil swell, specifically compounded rubber for other OEMs. But primarily anything that would be used on the drilling rig from a safety standpoint, this company makes here.
So one thing that really struck me as we toured this facility is the level of automation that you've been able to sort of retrofit into this place that's been around for decades. And he talks about some of the automated components of the process of making these components, and what do you have here?
Yeah, so when we start at the beginning of the process, really the main automation starts with our mixing. So our mixer is state-of-the-art. It's one of a kind, one of the few in the United States. It's a mixer from Germany, and every aspect of the mixing application is 100% automated to try to remove any human error, human interference. So the machine will actually prompt you to do exactly what you need to do based on the engineering parameters that are set up. So it's made the same way every time with a repeatable process, down to being able to weigh grams of material before it goes in the mixer. So from the mixing standpoint, you know, when you go into the actual manufacturing space, we've tried to automate our old legacy equipment. We've implemented steam automation, press automation. We are still working with a lot of manual hand intervention. But anywhere that the technology has caught up, that we can retrofit the equipment we have, we've tried to implement to eliminate the human touch. When you go into our BOP testing, and if you look back 10 years ago, we had operators working manual valves out in the open. Now we're housed in a enclosed bunker. Everything is automated. We push a computer screen and valves actuate up to 10,000 PSI, 100% automated and digitized for the customer so that they know that the product they're getting from us is repeatable and a good product every time.
And then lastly, you mentioned sort of some of the manual elements in the production here. It seems like there's such precision work that you still have people doing here. Can you tell us a little bit about that blend of automation with manual? What are people still doing in these processes?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So the main thing that jumps out at me is the trimming. So every part that we manufacture in this facility, there's 4 people that it'll go through. For a packing element, I have 2 trimmers, and for all other seals, non-packing elements, I have 2 trimmers. And they actually hand trim every single component every single day. It's an artistic craftsmanship, 100% manual. I get asked a lot, why don't we automate that process? And when you look at the level of rubber flow, excess rubber, where it is, you can't really do that without the human touch and the level of expertise that my site brings. We have tenured employees, 45 years, right? The average tenure is over 30 years at this site. So moving from a manual hands-on approach to automation has taken some time, but from touch time, we're still milling rubber by hand. We're still loading packing units. Everything's done by hand. Trimming by hand is critical, and that's something that I hope we get a chance to look at today. But the parts that where the safety can impact the employee, we've tried to automate and make things as safe as possible for our team.
Well, Chad, thank you for taking us on the tour of this place and letting, I mean, this is really cool. It's not something we get to see all the time, to see all the components that go into something like this BOP behind us and many other critical components on the rig. Really cool to see. So thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you coming.
And thank you for visiting drillingcontractor.org.